Before we can test it, we actually now need to wire in our error messages. Okay, so let's do that in our viewer.html before we go and test it. And what we'll do is we'll just print it here below the file input. So let me grab that little bit of code. And we're using another Bootstrap class here, help block, that will be helpful. It works with the form groups, and you'll see how that works later on. But we're just printing the value of set boundary error. So let's go look at that now. Sure. So we'll deal with that in a little bit. Try not to be too annoyed by it. I'll choose a file, and I don't want it to be a zip file so that it throws that error. Fortunately, I don't have any zip files. So I'll choose this image. And if we open the dialog again, you'll see that message is there. You must provide a zip file containing a shapefile. But it doesn't look like an error, so let's add another Bootstrap class to highlight this red so that it pops out and the user realizes there's something wrong. So we'll go back here, and we only want this to show up when there is an error, so we're going to wrap it in an if block. Okay, and this is a class, so we're going to add it to the class. We just add has error, and it will highlight the text red. Okay, don't forget to add the space between classes. Now if we go and refresh this, and actually it should still have that state, it will be red. It also highlights the label red, so it's clear which field has the error. So that's good. Now we can get feedback from the errors that are returned from that helper controller. There's one other issue though, and that is, you probably noticed, I have to open the modal to see the error. And this is a little less than ideal because the user won't recognize that there's an error unless they happen to open the modal. So what we need to do is add a little bit of JavaScript to open this automatically when there's an error. So we'll go back to our old friend in public.js, the GEE datasets.js that we built out in part 1 of this tutorial series, and go all the way to the bottom to this initialization constructor section. And we're just going to add a few lines here at the bottom. And what these lines do is they'll check that form group to see if it has the class has error, and if it does, then we'll use modal show to show our modal. So now if I do a hard refresh, Control-Shift-R, to make sure we get those JavaScript changes, yeah, it worked. We got the modal showing up automatically. Let me just select this and press Enter so that we reset the form. Choose, select, submit it. Yeah, it's coming through just fine. But when it first loads, since it doesn't have that has error class, it doesn't pop up. So that is working well.